What we're going to do today is find out the deeper learnings that have been going on underneath everything that's happening. Welcome to Your Wish Fulfilled. Thank you for being here. And as we close the year, I'm recording this actually on Christmas morning, early in the morning. As we close the year, it's really important to, on one hand, get ready for the new year, which we're going to do in another session. But before then, we need to acknowledge and have that love, that compassion, that awareness of all the good things, all the blessings, all the opportunities, all the learning that we've gained this year. Super important, because what normally happens for most people is that on January, they set New Year's resolutions. I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape. I want to stop smoking. I want to stop eating too much. I want to blah, 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 right? There's a whole list of these things. And then what happens? First few days, everyone's super excited. They start running, jogging, doing all these things, eating differently. And apparently by the middle of March, something around the neighborhood of 95% of people have failed. And the reason for that is because, on one hand, they didn't set themselves up for proper success, which we'll talk about in another session. But also, chances are they didn't learn, didn't realize how far they've come. Because changing our lives is actually quite an interesting project. I'm sure you've noticed, right? Trying to change yourself. I want to do this thing, and then you do something else. I want to make this happen. It doesn't happen. Something else happens. Life is a fascinating, wiggly wobbly, strange and wondrous adventure, isn't it? And a big part of the game of life is understanding the secrets. What is really going on? What is happening on a deeper level under the surface of your life right now? What's been going on for the last year, really and truly? On one hand, there are certain events that happen that you're aware of. There are certain people that came, some people left. Money came, money left. Projects happened, didn't happen. You might have moved somewhere, you might have bought things. There's all these things that happen, right? Things we did, things we didn't do. Magical experiences that we had, boring experiences, painful experiences, right? There's all sorts of things. It's a fascinating world. What we're going to do today is find out the deeper learnings that have been going on underneath everything that's happening. Because when you can really experience and feel that deeper learning, that deeper change, that deeper transformation, then you can feel the power. You can absorb the energy of that transformation into yourself. You can bring it from the unconscious that's happening in the background into the conscious, and you can use it, and that will allow you to create a much better, more wonderful year going forward, right? So we want to extract all the benefits. It's almost like there's all this secret goodness, and it's hidden underneath the surface of our awareness. It's like we're having all this gold in the basement, and we don't know where it is because it's underneath things. We have to go down there, we have to look at it, we have to find where it is and pull it out, and then we can use it. And then that's going to help us move forward into the new year. So how do we find this gold? First of all, we need a pen and paper. So if you haven't got one, you can pause the audio and go and get one. Pen and paper, you can use your phone or whatever if you like. but I think pen and paper is still better. The magic wand. The pen is a magic wand. The reason that I'm a big fan of pen and paper and pencils and analog is because when you use your hand to write something, they've done studies on this, more parts of your brain light up. So there's a deeper connection between what you're writing with a pen or paper or pencil and your actual brain. In other words, it goes in deeper than if you're just typing things on a screen. But whatever you want to do is up to you. So when you're ready, we're going to go through some questions together, and I recommend that you pause in between, because otherwise this session could be a couple of hours long, right? So just pause it, take as long as you need to write down the answers, and then come back for the next question. Are you ready? All right, so the first question is, what are 3 things that you've achieved this year that you're truly proud of? You can pause and think about that and really feel that satisfaction. Number 2, how have you grown personally, professionally, or spiritually over the past year? So how have you grown in these different areas of your life over the last year? What growth has happened? Now, here's a really important question. What small, meaningful moments this year brought me joy, peace, or a sense of fulfillment? What little moments, what magic moments? Let me explain this to you before you answer it. What are the little things in life, the magic moments, that brought you a sense of peace and well being and joy? Because when you know what they are, you can have more of them on purpose. For example, let's say one of my things is being in the sun. I know it might sound kind of quite obvious thing. I mean, I live in Sedona at the moment, right? So there's lots of sun in the desert. So I can lie down in the sun, or I can go for a walk, or the sun comes through the windows. It's just magical, right? I really appreciate that if I pay attention to it. You know, the sunset, the sunrise, going on hikes, and just being like in the zone is magical. My meditation, of course, magical, playing the pianos. So there's all these little things. There's many, many, many of them. But if you can think, what are these magic moments, then you can orchestrate more of them. You can design your life to have more magic moments, and that means your whole day is better. So think about that. In this last year, what are the little things that you experienced? Could be time with people, certain situations, that you were like, wow, this is just this beautiful feeling. All right, here's a very important question. You ready? If I compared myself today to where I was 1 year ago, what progress or changes would make my past self proud? So, what would your past self be proud of? How much have you changed between who you were last year? You were a different person last year, a year ago today, than you are now. In what way are you different, and what are you proud of? Really open your heart and tune into this, because magical things have happened, changes have happened. What is your past self looking at you now proud of? It's really important to feel these things in your heart and realize how far you've come. Because this good feeling leads to courage and confidence in the future. If we just go, oh, I didn't do this and I didn't, then we feel bad. But if we gain all the benefits, get all the gold, you can bring that with you into the next year. All right. I hope you've got some interesting answers there. You can always go back and do this again if you want to, and pause and listen. Now, let's go into another side of this whole process, which is to extract the benefit from the challenges. I'm sure you've had challenges. I've had challenges. We've all had challenges in various ways in our life. It could be in relationships, it could be in our environment, or money, projects, health issues. So let's dive into how we can turn the challenges that you had in the last year into gains, into benefit. So to begin with, we're going to ask some questions just to get clear about what were the challenges, and then we're going to find the secret benefit. So what were the challenges that frustrated you the most this year? What really got you? What situations made you feel stuck and held back? What didn't go the way you wanted it to? Just take your time to write down all the things that really were obstacles. It's like you're playing a game. What were all the big challenges that came up in the game of life? If you look at it as a game, like if you're trying to go from one place to another, and then there's some monster on the way and there's some bridge that's been burnt down, what were all those things that came up? Now, when you've got that list, right, look at the different things. Just pick one at a time. You can do more later. Look at one that was a major challenge, and let's ask this question to find the benefits. What deeper wisdom, what deeper wisdom or insight did you gain from one of these challenges or mistakes or setbacks? What wisdom or insights did you get out of it? You can do this with the other answers that you got as well. What insights and benefits did you get out of those challenges? What do they teach you? One of the things I learned this year is that if I have a intuition about something or a feeling something's a bit off, to act on it quicker, because I was putting up with things, just, and then I did what I needed to do and everything was great. And I'm like, why didn't I do that earlier? That's just one example. Next question, look at the challenges that you've had, and we're going to extract more benefit. How has this challenging experience supported your growth and learning, even if it was uncomfortable at the time? So how has it supported your growth now, even if it was uncomfortable at the time? And now, how can you respond differently next time using the higher understanding you now possess. So if you look at what you've learned, what you've gained, the secret benefits, how could you respond differently if something like that comes up because you now have this higher awareness? What could you do differently? And now, overall, here's the last question, and then we'll have a theme for the year, theme of the learning. Overall, what have been the main learnings this year? Overall, what has been the greatest learning? I'd like you to think of 3 main takeaways that you've either become better or you've learned something. For example, in case you're wondering, I personally have faced a bunch of things this year. That's one of my big learnings. Just looking at things in my life that were a bit off in various ways, especially in my work. Just technical things and things that are a bit broken and issues. Having a really good look at it. Uncomfortable, unpleasant, not the sort of thing I like to do, tedious, but it's better, right? It gets cleaned up, everything gets sorted out, gets refined. So that power to face, to look at things directly and deal with them is truly game-changing. So think about this. What are the big gains, the main things that you're getting? And just write them down on a card somewhere, and so you can put it somewhere. These are the gifts of the year. These are the real gifts, right? One thing is money and success and all these different details, which is great. But these deeper learnings, they're internal transformations. They're new things that you now have in yourself that can't be taken away. Like if we get success physically or we have certain things happening in our life, they can all change, right? But these inner things, they belong to us. They're the real gifts in our life. So take a moment to write down, what are these main gifts? It might be 3, it could be more. What are the biggest takeaways for this year for you? What are all the gains that you can just feel them in your being? And I hope this is making you feel happy, because the more benefit you feel, right? If you want to go back and listen to this whole thing again and add more answers, right? So what we've done is we've gone through the year, we've seen the challenges, we've seen the different things that happen, we've seen what we're proud of, we've felt the energy, and we are pulling all of this out of the subconscious, out of the unconscious, and saying these are bona fide, real deal, powerful transformational experiences that I've had. This is what matters to me in my life. This is what I've got out of it. And these are the themes, these are the key golden truths that, having gone through a whole year, including all the challenges, and because of the challenges in many ways, in many cases, because of the challenges, we now have all these things. And once you look at that list, you can continuously glean the benefit from it. So even some of these words, like in my case, it was like the power to face, just deal with it directly, just face things and deal with them. Just knowing, just thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, just deal with it. So next year, if anything comes up, I'm like, yeah, I learned this last year. I can apply this now. So that's how you use this. Look at what you've come up with. Look at all the benefits you've got. That is almost like stepping stones to get across the crazy rivers that are coming, right? You're putting down these stepping stones so that the year becomes much more graceful, much more smooth. So instead of jumping into the new year without having prepared and gleaned the benefit, you're putting down those stepping stones. You're carrying those lessons with you in your heart. And you also noticing the magic moments